Namo Phat. Good morning. Thanks for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The fifth mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I vow to cultivate good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society, by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will ingest only items that preserve peace, well-being, and joy in my body, in my consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family and society. I'm determined not to use alcohol or any other items that contain toxins, such as certain TV programs, magazines, books, films, and conversations. I'm aware that to damage my body or my consciousness with these poisons is to betray my ancestors, my parents, my society, and future generations. I will work to transform violence, fear, anger, and confusion in myself and in society by practicing a diet for myself and for society. I understand that a proper diet is crucial for self-transformation and the transformation of society. Our Dharma lessons have been coming from Ajahn Chah's book, Everything is Teaching Us. This morning we're continuing a talk on wholehearted training. We live in a place where the Buddha and his Dhamma are familiar to us, but then we get the idea that all we need to do is go hear the teachings and then take it easy, living our lives as before. This is badly mistaken. How would the Buddha have attained any knowledge like that? There had never been a Buddha. He taught about the various kinds of wealth, the wealth of human life, the wealth of the heaven realm, the wealth of Nibbana. Those with Dharma, even though they are living in the world, are not poor. Even though they may be poor, they don't suffer over it. When we live according to Dharma, we feel no distress when looking back on what we have done. We are only creating good karma. If we are creating bad karma, then the result later on will be misery. If we haven't created bad karma, we won't suffer such results in the future. But if we don't try to change our habits and put a stop to wrong actions, our difficulties go on and on, both the mental distress and the material troubles. So we need to listen and contemplate, and then we can figure out where the difficulties come from. Haven't you ever carried things to the fields on a pole over your shoulders? When the load is too heavy in front, isn't that uncomfortable to carry? When it's too heavy at the back, isn't that uncomfortable to carry? Which way is balanced and which way is unbalanced? When you're doing it, you can see. Dharma is like that. There's cause and effect. There's common sense. When the load is balanced, it's easier to carry. We can manage our lives in a balanced way with an attitude of moderation. Our family relations and our work can be smoother. Even if you aren't rich, you can still have ease of mind. You don't need to suffer over that. If a family's not hardworking, they fall in difficulty, and when they see others with more than they have, they start to feel covetousness, jealousy, and resentment, and it may lead to stealing. Then the village becomes an unhappy place. It's better to work at benefiting yourselves and your families for this life and also for future lives. If your material needs are met through your efforts, then your mind is happy and at ease, and that is conducive to listening to Dharma teachings, to learn about right and wrong, virtue and demerit, and to keep on changing your lives for the better. You can learn to recognize how doing wrong deeds only creates hardship, and you will give up such actions and keep improving. Your way of working will change, and your mind will change too. From being someone ignorant, you will become someone with knowledge. From being someone with bad habits, you will become someone with a good heart. You can teach what you know to your children and grandchildren. This is creating benefit for the future by doing what is right in the present. But those without wisdom don't do anything of benefit in the present, and they only end up bringing hardship upon themselves. If they become poor, they just think about gambling. Then that finally leads them to becoming thieves. We haven't died yet, so now is the time to talk about these things. If you don't hear the Dharma when you are a human being, there won't be any other chance. Do you think animals can be taught the Dharma? Animal life is a lot harder than our life. Being born as a toad or a frog, a pig or a dog, a cobra or a viper, a squirrel or a rabbit. When people see them, they only think about killing or beating them, catching them or raising them for food. We have this opportunity as humans. It's much better. We're still alive. So now is the time to look into this and mend our ways. If things are difficult, try to bear with the difficulty for the time being and live in the right way until one day you can do it. Practicing the Dharma is like that. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at ease. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanks for joining me today.